Yeah, the brothers definitely, um, you know, should consider when it comes to playing the whole so-called stepdad role. You know, know what you're getting involved in. You know, and I want to say, copyright disclaimer: I don't own the rights to the music. All right, fair use. I'm not making any type of monetary gain off these clips that I'm going to play. These are just strictly for educational and informational purposes only. All right, Lord willing, they don't clip this video based off these clips that I've got, especially with this clip here. You know, with the so-called rude speech. You know, which, you know, these unruly children. You know, they definitely need to be handled a certain way. You know, but before I get on with this video, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you, hopefully elect. I'm your brother Yoba Call from Great Millstone, Orlando, and you know, again, for you Akim, you brothers, because it's been on my spirit lately to just really, you know, Lord willing, just put that vibration out there through the spirit as far as brothers being men, coming back into true manhood, you know, having a standard about yourself and standing firm in that standard, you know, and not tolerating, not selling yourself short, especially for nonsense like this. Again, you know, playing the whole so-called stepdad role, you know, the whole Captain Save-A-Ho spirit to another nigga's seed, you know, because of things like this, you know, and it's unfortunate for the most part being in this society, you know, if you're going to deal with a woman, 9.99 times out of 10, you're dealing with a woman, she's going to have seed by another man, you know, and again, being in this society that we live in, you know, and being that these women, they're propped up on a pedestal, they expect a man, a real man at that, a high value man at that, to not only take on her baggage, her luggage, because of, you know, dealing with a woman alone, you know, the fact that she deals with all type of demons, you know, like the Apostle Gabar used to always go into, you know, because it's bad enough. These women, they're polluted. They have too many DNA of other men roaming inside of them, you know. And not only that, that's not to include the you know, the medicines, the medications that these so-called women take, which makes them even more all over the place. It just makes them more bugged out, you know, because, you know, men by nature are conquerors. So, like I said, the fact that not only do they take all these different drugs, but the fact that they have all these conquering spirits inside of them. You wonder why a woman, one minute she's happy, the next minute she's sad, one minute she's depressed. Wondering why she's all over the place as far as her emotions. Well, she has these conquering spirits inside of her, and of course, every man, he has his own spirit. So the fact that women bring forth seed by another man, well, the child is going to take on the spirit of that father for the most part. So that's another challenge within itself. Again, taking on a woman that has other seed by other men. You see? And again, this is why you get instances like this, where, again, these little knuckleheads, these little unruly children, these demons, like the scripture said, man, these women bringing forth monsters, because 9 times out of 10, the woman, she drove the father away for whatever reason. All right. Because I do have another clip that I want to play. But before I go on, I want to bring this out in Proverbs 14, because you see the little knucklehead, the other little knucklehead, pretty much, again, being a demon. And what I noticed with the little knucklehead with the broomstick, basically he's looking back to get that validation from the mother, because of course the mother, she's going to justify this type of behavior, being that, women, they're not leaders, so, it's just overall just an effed up situation, being in the environment that we're in. The children, they rule the house. And of course, the mother, she worships the children. So in turn, the mother, she's going to allow the children to run the house. And again, man, this is why you have a lot of dysfunctional families, because there's no structure. You see, because more than likely there's no man to run a house. And for the most part, if there is a man, he's more than likely a simp. He's just going to go with the flow, because, more than likely he was raised by a woman, raised by his mother, his grandmother, or whatever the case may be. So he doesn't know how to be a man. He doesn't know how to lead. Right. Proverbs 14:1. Every wise man, Slakia, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. And this is, again, being in the environment that we're in, which this environment, man, it's the scripture said we have no continuing city. This is not only is this an unnatural habitat for Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, but especially for the Israelite man, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian man. All right. Because, you try to be a decent man, and you try to do things, you run your household to the best way that you can. And, you just got to understand the environment that you're in, and this is why, and I just did a video on this yesterday, but this is why, our apostles and bishops, man, they speak how they speak. They say the things they say through the Spirit. And hell, even in the scriptures, going back to, the sound advice from, Apostle Paul, just as far as the wise counsel, that we have in the scriptures, just as far as, hey, it's better to be by yourself, be alone. If you're going to have a woman, deal with a woman, it's better to have your own spot, your own place, But Proverbs 14:1 in the AMP, it says, the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. And are these households being run according to the ordinances of Yahweh Shema Shai? Absolutely not. All right. And this is why we have dysfunctional families. All right. Families, so-called families with no structure, because a family, it means a house of servants. That's what family goes into. You know, it goes into a house of servants. You know, and obviously, you know, we ain't in the 40s, the 50s. You know, but again, it says in the A&P, it says the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. And of course, that's if she has a man to lead the household, right? But of course, you know, not to get all into the whole, you know, Gardenian pact with Eve, Esau, kicking the man out the house and you know, getting those benefits, you know. It says, but the foolish one who lacks spiritual insight. So you see, because a woman, they're not meant to be leaders. This is why we see, just in general, you know, a lot of chaos in the world, you know, no order, no structure, just a lot of chaos and confusion because women being put up in these positions of power, you know, all these car accidents, you know, and so on and so forth. These women given a position of power, which they don't need to be in any position of power. All right, because it leads to chaos. Because you know you don't have that insight as the man does. You see, it says tears it down with her own hands by ignoring godly slakia, by ignoring godly principles. Because again, a woman, she's governed based off of her emotions. All right. And this is why women, they need to be led. They need to be directed. They need that spiritual leash. As harsh as it may sound, but you know, and again, this is the importance of the male figure in the household. All right. You know, but I got another clip. I got